I didn't know whether or not I was going to go there. I'm going to go there. I wrote it last night at PFT. I mean, racism is racism. You either stand up against all forms of it or you don't. One of the NFL's 32 franchises has a name that is racist by definition. Change the channel, Washington fans. I don't care. Your name is racist by definition. What an opportunity to seize on it in this moment and say we're against all forms of racism. Not just racism against African Americans. We're against racism of all types, of all forms, against all people, including the indigenous Americans who were here before we came over from Europe and took over. So this is the moment. This is the time. The right thing to do to send a message to everyone about the evils of racism is to take this term that over the passage of time has become a textbook slur and abandon it. You want to show strength, Daniel Snyder, in the city where there are real questions about how much strength the chief occupant of the most significant structure there is showing in this moment? That's a way to show strength. That's a way to show courage. That's a way to show leadership. That's a way to inspire change. Let's see if there's any conversation about that happening other than people telling me to shut my big fat mouth. Chris.
Yeah, well, normally I'd like to tell you to shut your big fat mouth, but you're right on this one, and there's no denying it, all right? You do got a big fat mouth. I agree with a lot of people out there, but I'm with you. I mean, come on. You're right. This is the right time to do it. Start showing people that, hey, we can make a change and we're going to do something for the better. And hey, let's all join the fight and try to find some good in this. And the bottom line is, this is how my dad broke it down to me when this first became a subject. He goes, Christopher, would you go on the street and go and see a Native American and say, hey, Redskin, how you doing? No, I would not. Of course not. That's ridiculous. That's the point. So if you're not willing to do that, that tells you there's a problem with the word, so yes, I'm with you there. And, back to like what we were talking about with like the call to action. And I don't want to sound insensitive to the NFL because I know they're doing a lot of things, Mike, behind the scenes to help this cause and this issue. But you got to do something too that, rallies the masses. And to me, like the best example right now, and something where I would love the NFL to see it. I don't know if you saw this, Mike, but like the Nike Don't Do It thing that they released through, social media and all that has like 300 million views and all of that type of stuff. Those are powerful words and statements that people can get behind. And it spreads through social media to where people who may be racist or on the fence or whatever it may be, they start to read those things and then they read the comments underneath it and it stirs, thought and moving forward as a society. So that's something I would like the NFL to see them do. That's what I was referring to as far as something tangible.
There are many ways that this moment can be seized upon by our most prominent institutions, private institutions that have a very public existence, like sports leagues. That's why sports leagues are so important in America. That's why they get regulated from time to time by the federal government, why Congress is interested in what they're doing. They are a huge part of our shared public existence, right? When a pandemic strikes, one of the first concerns is what happens to our sports.
Right.
That's right up there with what happens to ourselves, what happens to our sports. It's a key part of our life. It's why you and I have jobs. People care about this stuff. So when there is a moment like this and you have the resources, when you have the voice, when you have the platform, you got to use it. And whether it is coming up with effective social media strategies to spread the message that the time for racism is over, whether it is changing a name that should have been changed several years ago and that could be changed right now and send one of the most powerful messages that ever has come from the National Football League at a time of crisis, and it would inspire others to search their hearts and search their souls for things they can do to be part of the solution. Look, I think it's a pipe dream. I think the chances of it happening are incredibly slim. But you want a way to provide a shining example that you are part of the solution, National Football League. You get to Daniel Snyder today and you say, now is the time to change this name and issue a statement with it saying, I was wrong, I was blind to the impact of this word, and in this moment, my eyes are open, and this is what I'm doing. And think of how much good, Chris, could come from a gesture like that. It may hurt the bottom line in the short term, right?
It might.
But think of how much good could come from that.
You know, it might hurt the bottom line in the short time, but I doubt it. I think, in general, there's going to be more people that'll gravitate to the Washington team and jump on the bandwagon if they do make a change like that. So, it might hurt it just at first, but I think all in all, it could be something good for the bottom line. And of course, it could bring a lot of good to our country and the cause and everything like that. So I'm with you, Mike. Well said.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.